Here's a big deal. Montana will become the first state in U.S. history that had 2 seats in the House of Representatives, lost 1, and then got it back. This comes after the U.S. Census Bureau announced yesterday that Montana is gaining another seat in the House. To put this announcement in perspective, Montana's population in the 2020 or 2010 census was just under 990,000 people. 10 years later, Montana has surpassed 1 million residents and is approaching 1.1 million. That growth has now earned additional representation. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has more.
For nearly 30 years, Montana has been by far the most underrepresented state in the U.S. House of Representatives, with too many people for a single representative, but not enough for a second. Now, the U.S. Census Bureau says that's going to change. The Census Bureau said Monday that Montana will be among 6 states gaining seats in the House starting in 2023. Montana's population grew almost 10% from 2010 to 2020. State leaders made a big push to encourage people to fill out the census, knowing a higher population would mean more federal funding and possibly more representation. Dr. David Parker, a political science professor at Montana State University, says it's hard for Montana's at-large congressmen to get everywhere in the state, so having 2 House members will be a big change.
We're going to get more intimate representation. You're going to see your House member a lot more. And I think that's just good for the representative process.
Now, the State Redistricting and Apportionment Commission, a bipartisan panel, will be tasked with drawing the boundary between the 2 congressional districts. The first elections would be in 2022. While a lot will depend on where that line goes, Parker said it's likely one district will be more solidly Republican and the other could be more competitive. Monday's release only included the overall state population. More detailed information at the local level may not be available until August or September, and that's what the Districting Commission needs to finish their work.
Honestly, the redistricting committee is going to have to move fast. The other thing that's going to be really a challenge is if you're a prospective congressional candidate, thinking about running for office, you're probably going to have to start raising money and making an announcement before those lines are clear.
However, Monday's announcement might not be the final word on congressional apportionment. States that lost seats could file legal challenges over the census methodology. But Parker says because Montana wasn't the last state to get an extra seat, it's less likely that action will affect us. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Governor Greg Gianforte reacted to the addition by saying, quote, "It is critical we avoid the traps of partisanship and gerrymandering as our new district lines are drawn. Our new districts should be compact, keep our communities together, and make common sense," unquote. In other news now, one man who served both with another congressman and without. When Montana lost its House seat, our 2 House members had to face off in a runoff election. Western District Congressman Democrat Pat Williams defeated Eastern District Congressman Republican Ron Marlene and wanted to serve solo until 1997. All told, he represented Montana for 18 years. He's pleased our state got that seat back because with it comes power.
Well, this is very good news for Montana. It means more political authority, more political clout for Montana in the U.S. House of Representatives, and that's nothing but good news. I served when I was alone, but I also served when we had 2. There was myself and my friend, the late Ron Marlene. I represented Western Montana, and Ron represented Eastern Montana. The state was far better off when both Ron and I represented the state than it was when only one member represented the state.
Williams says he believes the district should be divided the same way they were the last time Montana had 2 people in the U.S. House. Geographically and politically speaking, he thinks the eastern half and western half boundaries serve the state the best. He also expects a lot of good candidates to show up to run for the new